Welcome back to the Decode Podcast. We're here in Anaheim at the Global Electronics Association Apex Expo 2026. We are joined by our friend Jerome McIntyre from Koki.
Hi, everybody.
He is a sales and applications engineer.
Slash KNF Electronics, free process engineer.
Yeah, on demand, yeah.
Well, it's funny that you said that, free process engineer, right? Because I think working with Jerome in different customer sites...
It costs you in other ways.
It costs you in other ways, yeah. He's insufferable.
Just dignity, that's it.
No, but I mean, we could spend an episode talking about the specific compositions of the solder paste and the flux species and the alloys and all that. But I think where Jerome really slots in is you get so much more than that when you partner with Koki, because you get his brain, which is a weird one, but it's a beautiful.
Shantanu and Greg too, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%,
yeah, but,
right?
I know you've had the same experience. Jerome comes to your shop, helps you get their paste up and running. But you don't just stop. You don't just check out how it's going or whatever. You help drill down. You help check out that reflow profile. You look at the screen printer. You're there at every step of the way, helping make sure that you have a stable process. I mean, obviously, it helps you too. If your product performs better on that demo, then we're more likely to use it, right? But every single person in the facility that dealt with you that day, I know is more comfortable with Koki products as a result. So that's kind of...
One way or another, you'll remember me, whether it's for technical knowledge or personality. One way you're going to get to know.
It's funny, we name our reflow profiles on the BTU, like one's Jerome, one's Jerome leaded, right?
You got J-Dog, that's standard.
J-Dog is a killer.
It's a great profile.
J-Dog is
if you guys ever need a profile, J-Dog, we got you.
Yeah, if you got a BTU 125A, I highly recommend.
No, and I truly enjoy what I do. So that's what I love about Shantanu and the team at Koki is they let me do this, right? It's not just my paste. I've worked on different pastes, right, with a grain of salt. Hey, I don't have a horse in the race, but I want the process to be as clean as possible because I've been in your shoes. I mean, 100%. What do I do here, right? I'm stuck. This is failing. I got components not soldering. What's going on, right? So you just dive right into the issue.
Well, you said to me one day that resin, I don't know, hit me the hardest was, I know the place that you worked at, right? Mm-hmm. And it was probably, if not, right? I mean, there's a lot, but it's, if not the biggest in Michigan, and if not the biggest around in a large area, right?
Yeah.
And you were PE for all that, right? Like you were just...
100% involved, but from start to finish, right? So I didn't just do surface mount. I didn't do AOI, preventive maintenance, prototype. I got to see everything because I really care about what I do, so I was given kind of a bigger leash. Right, and you guys have seen that before. I don't just stop at one spot. If you need me anywhere, I can help there.
What stopped me in my tracks, though, is because I know you guys get a lot of demos of all these different stuff and flux paste and even equipment, right? But you said to me one day, you said, Koki kept winning all the evaluations, and I was like,
when it's apples to apples, it's all about support and pricing, right? And not to go in the weeds on that stuff, but that's the part I enjoy is I get to help on the one part that a lot of people don't excel at, which is support, right? It's not just you go to a site and say, hey, send me your profile, and remotely you do it, which we can. That's not a problem. But if I can physically be on the shop floor, that's when I shine. That's my favorite part to do. And I have free reign to travel, right? So a couple weeks ago, I was in Montreal. Then I was in Seattle. Now I'm back out here again, right? There's no spot I won't go.
And even at my shop, when we were looking at the through hole that one day.
Yeah, me shop all the time. You need so much help.
I do. I've tried to poach you 1,000 times, but I'll get there with it.
I don't understand why you would want to poach me. You get me for free.
Get it for free.
I do get
so why are you going to pay me? It's the weirdest business model. You're going to pay me to do something I'll do for free.
You should just
He's
let me roll with it.
He's an expert negotiator.
You should just let me roll with it. And then not change anything and still kept Koki and feel like I'm just getting extra money.
Hey, Shantanu, what do I do?
But like you noticed when we switched up that flux, the solder balling, right? Like he like literally took it over to the microscope and started inspecting it, right? It wasn't like, and I'm sure you've experienced too, it was like he actually wants to see the results and not just, well, the chart on the profiler says this, so you must be good, right? Like it was, you actually inspected it yourself.
Yeah, it's all the grain of salt, and that's what I love, right? I travel with the profiler that I have, right? Love it, love helping people. You have the same one, which is good for me. So you just send profiles around, and I keep learning more stuff, right? So everybody's doing something a different way, so I kind of can take that global knowledge into one spot and go help sprinkle that around too. You don't have to struggle with the pen and paste. I know I can't do a silk profile, because that's going to cause voiding in it to pin through paste. I have to go ramp to peak for that. Right? There's things that you don't know until you actually experience in the wild and go, well, that's weird. Why am I getting 40% voiding? Oh, ramp to peak, I got 0. Well, how does that work? Right? So that's what we do. We just accumulate knowledge and all talk to each other. So Shantanu, Greg, we all work together. We work Elias, right? He hops right on the phone with us. Hey, I got a weird geometry. What do I do here? I think we did in the middle of troubleshooting. We called him for a couple hours. We just got into it. Hey, what do we do? It's a board redesign. I get it. There's nothing we can do, but how can we make it a little bit better until we can redesign a board, right? I mean, realistically, they're already ordered. You have to use them.
Yeah, that's what I love, and it's kind of a unique spot because I'm not a customer of Koki, right? I mean, we're suppliers. We're in the same place, but that ability to work together instead of like kick the can down the road, like, well, this isn't working well, it's your paste, call your paste guy, or oh, this isn't printing well, it's your stencil, call your stencil guy. Like, we'll jump on calls together.
It's always the stencil's fault.
It's
100%.
fault.
And that's why we get along so well.
But the time to resolution is so fast when you've got all the stakeholders, that actually have good working relationships and will communicate. And I learn a ton from you, and every once in a while I think I can probably provide a little bit of useful insight on the stencil side of things. And in the end,
I got Greg for that, to be fair, but
sure,
he's getting a little older, so it's nice to have a younger buck. Sorry, Greg.
Oops.
He needs a new jacket. Every time I see him, he's wearing that same
blue
plaid jacket. Yeah.
Life's happening.
You gotta switch that up.
He's looking better as he gets older. I don't know how that works.
So I was telling somebody earlier, I watched this chart, I don't know, a couple years ago of the progression of resistors and caps sizes, right? So 1206 was the dominant in the early 2000s, and the 805 came in, right? Then the 06, 03, 04, and then they all kind of like do this curve of what's being manufactured the most, right?
Yeah.
Type 3. Before I even started printing, used to be the bee's knees, right? Type 4 took over, right? Type 5, is that taking over, or is
we're getting there?
4 or 5?
So the thing is, right? Cell phones are just going to dominate that. They use the most components. They want everything smaller. So now, if you gear your line to make smaller components, now we all have to take that on. Unfortunately, Type 5 is kind of that cutoff, right? Now you have to go to nitrogen Type 6 and gets a little into the weeds. So we're going to try and see. We're going into Type 5 right now and hopefully not get pushed into Type 6 too fast. But Type 5 is more prevalent. And to be honest, there's not that much of a price difference, I can only speak on Koki, right? You're talking $10-15 for a tube difference. So if that's going to make it print better, you have the same results with low voiding, whatever it is, no graping, all in air, then why not, right? If you can release better, have better ratios, just do it.
Yeah, I ran a job before that failed on Type 4. I switched to Type 5 because it was 01005 pads, and it worked.
Yeah, and that's the beauty, right, is you can only manipulate a stencil so much until you can't fit the amount of solder balls into the aperture to release it. And board support's the king, right? So if you don't have good board support, just like you're board support. So you have to have good flat surface. You have to have good gasketing, because if you don't have that, you're just going to release poorly, or it's going to stick into the stencil. That's the name of the game, support. We saw that, right? I was like, why is it not working? Oh, it's supposed to support.
Oh, the supports weren't right. Yeah. That
I heard of some people like not using board support on side 2.
I think only crazy people would ever admit to that, especially on an actual.
No, podcast. I got the quick tool now.
There you go. You got support.
Pop, 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 pop. As long as I got that going, I'm.
How is that?
Pop, pop. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know the sound. I can't mimic it.
It sounds aggressive sometimes, to be honest, when you got the components on there.
But yeah, I'd urge everyone, get an SPI machine. If you're looking at SPI, AOI, get SPI, get your data, right? The one thing you can do historically is collect that data and see over time, right? If I'm changing, let's say, seasons, and I'm seeing a note, hey man, the paste is getting a little sticky, what's happening? Maybe I need humidification. Maybe there's something environmental that's causing it to release, and you'll see that on the data live. If you go volume up, down, you get peaking or something going on.
Like those shops that don't have Ayacuchi in them, like they probably experience stuff like that.
Yeah, they got great foggers.
Yeah.
You wheel one around, you have like ones that are portable too.
Nah,
and
you should
put
have
them
it in
the
the
spots.
ceiling, those are the professional ones that have those. I got to flex for so long because soon I won't be the only one with it. So.
Well, the nice part is I get to meet a lot of people. So if you actually need to know somebody, hey, how do I do this? Just contact me. Is Jerome at KokiAmerica.com. I will never not answer the phone for somebody or an email.
We had Greg and Shantanu on the podcast earlier, a couple months ago, whatever. One of the questions I asked him was, like, you guys have, I think he said something over 300 formulations of
It's growing every
solder
year.
paste. And I'm just like, why haven't you guys figured it out yet, right? Like, you have so many. No,
It's because the customers like you that want something special.
no, that's exactly what the answer was,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, every single application might require a unique adjustment to that formulation to actually get the most pristine results, right?
Yeah, yep.
And my facility is different than his, and on and on. The environments are different, the processes are different, and the end application's different, and you guys have found a way to serve everyone, regardless of what the application is, and that's been pretty impressive.
We have a great techno center. It's right next to where they do the production. So whenever we want something researched and developed, we just ask them to go next door. They request it. They try it out. A couple months later, they go right across the door to lab evaluation, right? Back and forth. Did it work or not? Here's what didn't work. Here's what worked, right? There's no emails. They just walk back and forth between the buildings, and that's how we do that. It's faster that way. So
I like to try to throw a couple Easter eggs in these episodes where like we get some great pro tips. So can you give some maybe paste handling and conditioning best practices for people? Like, you get in the morning, you're going to do a run. What does your prep process look like for getting the paste ready to go?
So it depends on tubes or jars, right? Depending on what you're using. Typically, if you got a tube, it's installed in the machine. You just cap it for overnight because that tube's going to uncap, right? You start off. You don't have to do anything for that. For a jar, you leave it out overnight. In the morning, you just give it a quick mix. As soon as it starts to get shiny, and you'll see it kind of drip right off. It starts flowing. It's almost like frosting at that point, right? Then you got the paste activated. Then you can put it down. Some people have paste spinners. The caveat with that is be careful with paste spinners if you use them. The problem with paste spinners, if you go too fast, too long, right, you're adding energy, you're adding heat. You can elongate the solder balls. You can start to fuse them. You can cause issues down the line. So now a type 5 has become a type 3 because you've fused it all together. So there's a lot of things you can do good and a lot of things you can do bad. So just because someone sells you a machine says this will work perfect, you have to do your own research on it. So you have to make sure it works, right? What changed in the process? Oh, I got a spinner. Now I can't print anymore. Well, what happened with the spinner? Well, I put it on there for an hour and a half. It just kept going. It was 35 degrees, and now it's 200. Well, that's your problem, right? You spun it too long.
So this has never happened at Aurora Boardworks, obviously. But
yeah.
occasionally, operator might forget to take out the jar of paste in the morning when, let it start getting up to room temperature and such. And some people might want to find ways to accelerate that and bringing it up to temperature.
Never ever put it on an oven. I swear, if you do that, it will give you nothing but horrible results. The easiest way to do it is find the most inefficient human being like myself that is a heater. I throw off heat, you put it in your back pocket, you walk around, get everything started. It'll be up to temperature, not oven temperature, but it'll be a Jerome temperature. It's a nice ambient temperature.
What about the microwave?
So microwave's a no-no. I don't know if you put a fork in there or other objects, but you don't do that.
Do you know what I did back in the day is
I'm sure you did.
I bought a sous vide machine.
Oh, that's fancy.
And I would vacuum seal it and then throw some weight on it, dump it in there, put it at 72 degrees, and just
water, you can obviously do that. Just be careful again with a grain of salt. It's a brand new tube. If I put my tube in there, sure, it's sealed on the side where you take the cap off. The opposite side, I wouldn't say it's perfectly sealed. It is sealed, but I wouldn't put water on it.
Vacuum sealed it, so it was like watertight.
But then you're going to have to make sure when you take the tube out, it's dry before it gets in there. You make sure no water gets on the stencil. I mean, there's drawbacks to it too.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah. I just the day before take it out or have a FIFO system, right? Paste doesn't go bad in 5 hours while it's out. A lot of times, right, bigger manufacturers will do is we'll have a rack where it's gravity fed. You pull one tube out, comes down, you pull the next one up, and as soon as you get to an MRO system, right, you usually have some kind of sensor that reads that it's empty. It alarms off, annoys everybody until it gets refilled. That's the best way to do it. If you make an alarm for everything, they'll either turn off the alarm, and if you hardwire it in, they take care of it.
Tips down, too.
I go on the side. I roll them.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. Well, you think about it, right? You can have that flux separate. So if you put it on the side, you have a different surface area. And as you roll them, and I'll show you in the dash you said we have, it actually shows you how to roll it, 25%, right, every 3 months.
This is blasphemy. You don't know what you're saying right now.
Daniel and I were in the field together a couple months ago at one of my customers, and he tagged along. And they had, their paste was in tubes, and they had like a gas station style hot dog roller
with
the heating element disabled, So they had all their paste for the day and the cartridges there, and it just kind of
it wasn't getting extra heat.
It wasn't getting extra heat. It was just slowly on its side rolling.
And that's overkill, right? It's not going to separate that fast. But I mean, it's okay. It's not going to hurt it to roll around.
But it's automated. Then you don't have to think to turn it. You don't have to rotate it manually at some point.
Yeah, because then you
potentially
have to
forget
create
to do
a preventive maintenance. Someone gets another email. Did you forget to do it? Do you not sign it off? Somebody audits you. Well, what happened? I didn't get signed off 3 months ago. So is it good or bad? We don't know.
I posted that on LinkedIn, and I specified that the heating elements had been disabled. And so many people
Don't use that.
That's terrible. You don't.
Everyone has a different way, and to be honest with you, if it's not a Koki solder paste, I would tell you just defer to the other companies, right? If another company has a better suggestion for their solder, all of our fluxes are different. So there's not one true answer, right? You should go to the supplier and say, what's your best practice? I can tell you mine, but I don't want to mess up somebody else's paste to be fair to them, saying, oh, well, we actually do tubes up or tips up, however they do theirs, and now I caused an issue for another company for no reason.
I prefer tips.
Down or up?
The LinkedIn said down, so I thought down.
Okay.
If it was on the internet, it's got to be true, right?
Obviously, yeah. If you posted it, it's got to be true.
I mean, it's the same people that didn't read his posts that said, there's no heating element. So, right? Like,
if people want to get in touch with you, Jerome, just to get free technical support without ever buying your product,
just contact Sean. He knows a direct line to me at all times. And
I won't give it out. I'm stingy with my Jerome.
Yeah. But actually, if people want to touch base with you, what's the best way to learn more about Koki's offering and maybe get in touch with you or Sean New or Greg?
Jerome at KokiAmerica.com. That's it. Or call Sean. He'll give you my direct line. Call me anytime.
We'll probably just flash it on the screen right here.
Yeah. Just big, like...
Post my dad's on there. He needs somebody to talk to.
Well, he called me the other day. I was like, why aren't you profiling right now? He goes, my dad moved the profiler. I was like, it sounds like a kid that just had his toy taken away from him.
Dude. And then the aluminum tape he moved too after that. So I was like, oh, come on. Because I just found the docking station.
We're going to talk about 5S when I'm in next. That's what we're going to do. We're going to sort. We're going to get this thing in a spot. We're going to label it. You'll never have to ask again.
And if you can do it for Sean, you can do it for anyone.
This is
a strong testament.
Mission impossible. Well, thank you for joining us, Jerome.
Yeah.
It's always good catching up with you, and thanks for tuning in.
All right.